What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today we're going to do a little bit of a tune-up on the truck. Not anything real crazy. I don't know how long the plugs have been in this truck. And so I think it's a good time to change the plugs. While we're doing that, we're of course going to change the plug wires. May do a little bit of cleaning under the hood because it's pretty disgusting. And other than that, I think I may replace the filter because it looks pretty gross as well. But this thing does have an aftermarket filter. But either way, let's get started. I'm going to pop the hood. You guys saw in the last video, we got the fog lights in this thing, and it is still absolutely nasty. I know I daily drive this truck, guys, and so I clean it when I can, but the weather's been chilly here, so I haven't had a ton of time to clean on it. But either way, let's get this hood popped and see what we need to get started on. Now, one of the great things about these trucks are the coil on plug design. So you can see you have a coil per cylinder and a plug wire per cylinder, so it makes things a little bit easier. But yeah, I know it's disgusting under here. The only thing that's clean are obviously we just did the fog lights here recently. That box is somewhat clean, and this front piece, but the rest of it's pretty gross. And you can see it does have an aftermarket set of headers on it. I'm not in love with those, but hey, they're already on it. I'm not going to take them off. It also has an airaid intake, but look at this filter. I think we could definitely gain some miles per gallon if we did that. But today, while I may change the filter, I'm looking for a new one. I really don't like the airaid filter, but I'm looking for another one that'll fit that. And I don't have a factory box to hook up to this, so we're just gonna have to figure something out. But I'll figure something out. And but either way, let's get started on the plug wires. I'm gonna go ahead and pull those off, and that should give me access to the plugs. I will tell you guys that look, this one has headers, so it may be a little bit easier access, but it's still not too bad on a truck that has stock manifolds. But let's grab the plug wires off, which we're just going to basically pull them off. I don't know how old they are. They do not look like the factory ones, but then we'll talk about, and I'll list in the description down below, what we're going to be replacing with. One other thing before we get started, remember in my video I showed you guys some of the gifts I got. We've got the light up here, and you got two settings. So that's kind of the low setting, and that's the high setting. look at how much better the lighting is than, you know, my little trouble light that I have here. So hopefully I can set you guys up on somewhat of a tripod somewhere close in here. Don't know how I'll do it. Maybe like right here, I don't know. And we can get this stuff apart. Let's get the plug wires off. We'll take a look at them and see what they are. Look. Oh, they're JBA. They look old to me. I don't know how long these headers have been on. Oh my gosh. That doesn't look good. Huh. Anyway, well, let's keep on going here. These little protectors, I don't know. I don't know that I love these JBA plug wires. I am going to keep the little metal boots. That is so bent. They are like permanently turned. I don't know. They look old. All right, let's go get a spark plug socket. See if we can get those spark plugs out. Now, depending on who put the plugs in, I guess we'll see how tight they are. That's not too bad. I'm a little concerned that it feels cross-threaded. Maybe not. One of the things I don't like about those plug wires is they're really, really long. I'm interested to see these plugs. Something is making it slip. I think I'd have better luck grabbing the plug by itself. Well, maybe not. I've got a little shorter extension I'm gonna go grab. Sometimes on LS's, this little extension works best, especially with headers. No, they're old. But what brand are they? Bosch. All right, they're platinum plugs at least, or iridium it says. They don't look terrible, but I think we can do better. Let me go grab the plugs that I think we're gonna use. So the plugs I'm using are AC Delco Platinums, and I know they're kind of expensive, but they should be pre-gapped. And I'm also gonna be using a little bit of this, not very much, but just to keep the threads good. Put a little bit of anti-seize on them. Always a good idea when you're going into an aluminum head to use some anti-seize. And I know I didn't put very much, but a little bit goes a long way, and I don't need a bunch of them. Those plugs didn't look terrible. I don't know that I'll gain as much as I was hoping for as far as gas mileage goes. I feel that plug is not going in there real straight. You kind of do this by feel. Golly. And I don't love the way it's feeling. Feels like it's cross-threading. Man, I don't love that. They kind of go in at an angle, and so when they don't go in the way I feel like they should, stop, move it around a little. I'm not in love with this at all. I may go get, golly, as much as I hate to chase the threads on that. That is not feeling good. I'm gonna try to thread this one back in just to see if it feels any better. It's got a little bit better starting point, I'll tell you that. See, that one threads in good. Makes me wonder if the threads are boogered up on this one. I may go grab another plug just to test. So I just threaded another plug in and it feels way better. So I think that one's got some messed up threads, so we'll have to get another one. That's my luck. Now you can torque these if you'd like. I generally do not. I just get them snug. Feels pretty good. All right, what I may do is just time lapse the rest of the plug change. I may go grab a wire because I'm not sure how good our wires that I got are gonna fit. Let me go grab one of those real quick and we'll take a look at what I've decided to go with. And these are just some stock replacements, but what I found is, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but look at the difference in how long these guys are. They looked ridiculous. I am going to try to reuse the little metal boots like I'd said, but I don't know if they'll reach. So we'll try. I always try to listen for them to snap in place. Nope, they will not reach. So we're gonna have to order some different ones. Dang, that sucks because I hate how long those are. Just absolutely makes me crazy that they're that long. All right, well, we'll just go ahead and keep going on the plugs. It just sucks that I'm gonna have to find me some plug wires. These trucks, I swear, they came in a couple different years with different length plug wires. Some short, some long. I just went and tested the one I just tried in here on that 6-liter over in the corner, and it fits perfect, so who knows. I have a set of MSD wires here, but they're the shorter kind as well, so guess it's just how it goes. All right, I'm going to time lapse the rest of these, and then we will hopefully get a set of plug wires in and a new air filter, because like I said, I haven't found one of those yet. But we're gonna test this one that had issues in this cylinder and see if it's any better. If it's not, then we're definitely gonna get rid of it. And there you go, it fits in that one, so who knows. All right, let's whip the rest of these plugs out real quick. At this point, I've got all the spark plugs changed. Now look, the wires I'm waiting on, so I did just go ahead and put my wires back in place because honestly, guys, I drive this thing. And so I can't just leave it apart. So either way, we're still waiting on that. I'm still gonna show you that in this video. But other than that, that back one is kind of a pain, mainly because the extension that I had on it, I had actually 2 of those short ones and seemed to work best. So that one's the hardest one out of the bunch. They're still not really hard. You just do it by feel, guys. If it feels like it's cross-threading, don't force it in, and make sure that you put some anti-seize on those things. But we're all complete with that. Like I said, we're gonna wait on the plug wires, and I'm still waiting on a filter. But in the meantime, I'm gonna clean a little bit of this stuff up. So you could see that there's a ton of dust and dirt. There's some leaves back there. Probably gonna grab my vacuum out those leaves, and then just kind of clean up some stuff that you see. I'm not gonna get real crazy here. This is my daily driver, but you know, I want it to look a little cleaner than this. So guys, I don't know whether I said this earlier in the video, because it's been several days, but I drive this thing every day, and the plug wires, I think I said, but I didn't, the plug wires wouldn't fit that I had bought. And so I ordered some new ones. These are from Edelbrock actually, and they come with new little metal pieces on the bottom, and they're a little longer. So these guys were incredibly long. I will tell you, this thing's been running great though, you know, look, it didn't run bad before, but what I want to go ahead and do is put these new ones on, make sure that they fit, and you want to make sure you get a positive snap, that way you don't have any engine misfires. But these are perfect length for the truck platform. They don't have any extra like these other ones, and I'll show you one side by side here, but look at the difference. You can see I had a ton of extra on this guy. So we're gonna go ahead and put those on. And then I also got the filter in. So, and then you guys saw me clean a little bit. I'm not gonna get, I think that's about as much cleaning as I'm gonna do here for now. Like I said, this is my daily driver. And while I kind of wipe it down under the hood and stuff once I've washed it, I don't wanna get it like spotless, because I do drive it. And so there's a lot of dust that comes up under here. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead, I'll time lapse this, we'll pop these plug wires in place, and then we'll move over to the filter. I'll show you what I got for that. We got all those plug wires in place. You can see them down there. Obviously they're red, but they all seem to snap on well. Like I said, there's not a ton of slack like the other ones had. And so now onto the filter. So I did some research. Obviously this filter is gross. And I was doing some research on what size this filter was, because I wanted to stick with the same size, obviously, because this is a whole airaid kit. And I'll list it in the description down below for these trucks if you guys are wondering. But yeah, the filter, while it is a cleanable filter, I don't love this filter anyway. And so a lot of times, you guys saw in a long time back when I had the CTSV, we switched from the airaid filter to a green USA. That is what I found. So I'm gonna go grab it, and I'll obviously list it in the description down below as well if you're wanting to swap it out for a filter that probably flows a little better and seems to just have a really good reputation. So I'm gonna go grab it. Obviously we need to take this flathead out or loosen up that clamp in order to get it out, and we'll go grab the new one. And sometimes these guys are just a really tight fit, so hopefully we don't have to take any more apart than this. And I don't know whether I'll keep this filter around. My guess is I probably won't, because I'll never clean it and use it, because it is not my favorite brand. So, but look at that opening. It's a 6-inch opening on this guy. Airaid brand, but holy cow is it gross. I think what I'll do too is this is kind of nasty in here. I'm gonna clean this up real quick before I go grab the new filter and show you guys it. So I cleaned that up a little bit. Also cleaned, there was a little bit of debris on the mass airflow screen. It butts up right against that. And so here's what we got. I'm hoping that it fits. Like I said, I looked up the parts between the two and found the one that fit the best. It's not quite as long as the other one, but the opening is the only option that they had. So you can see it's a little shorter, which makes things a little easier getting it in. But like I said, I'll list it in the description down below if you guys want to swap to this. And these are oiled filters, guys. I'm not a huge fan of oiled filters, but there's not a lot of options out there. And the fact that I don't have the factory airbox, I'm more of a factory airbox guy. I don't know, these open filters get really dirty, and I don't think there's a ton of gain to be had, you know, with this versus the standard just tube that like I've got on my green truck. If you guys look back in those videos, I've just got the airaid tube that eliminates like the silencer and a bunch of the GM stuff that's unnecessary. But let's see if we can get this thing tightened up. And then there's one more thing I want to do as far as tune-up stuff goes. This doesn't have a serviceable fuel filter, but I do want to put some treatment in the tank. I think we'll get this, I think this is almost there snug-wise. Like I said, you can see it's a little shorter, but it's definitely cleaner. Filters on, plugs and plug wires done. There's really not a whole lot of tune-up stuff here you can do. I think eventually, I don't have any issues with the way it runs. That is not why I did this. Like I said, guys, it's more of a maintenance thing that I think it needs. And as you could see in the video, the plug wires and plugs were aftermarket. So at least it's been changed. We just don't know how long, and that's why I wanted to change them. So either way, I'm gonna fire it up, make sure that it doesn't have any misses, but I wanna pour some stuff in the gas tank. This is something I usually do between either every oil change or every other oil change, and that is Seafoam. So I'm gonna go grab a can of Seafoam. We're gonna put that in the tank just to keep things kind of flush through and clean. The other thing I do a lot of times is when I get a vehicle new, and I did this when I first bought this, but I put Seafoam in the oil and run it for about 100 to 200 miles and then flush that oil out. It really cleans things up, especially if it hasn't been well maintained as far as with oil changes. I think it's a good idea. You do not want to run it much longer than 100 miles, 200 max, because it will wash out the bearings, and you don't want that problem, because we don't want to be replacing a motor. So let's go grab the Seafoam and pour it in. And when I say Seafoam, this is just regular old Seafoam. And it doesn't really matter. It says to put it with a certain amount of gas. That doesn't really matter, guys. I'll put it in with a quarter tank or a full tank. To me, it cleans a little better. I think if you got a quarter tank, we got about, I don't know, maybe half a tank of gas in this thing right now. So here's what I'm thinking. There's some stickers I want to remove that I don't know if you guys saw those in that clip I just had. I'm going to remove those real quick. We'll kind of go over what we've done, and then I think what I will do is we'll go over the mileage as far as like if this made an effect or changed anything. I think I'll drive it for a week or two, but anyway, we'll get to that here in just a second. So like I said, real quick, I'm gonna pull this JBA sticker off and those airaid stickers, Powerade. I'm gonna pull those off real quick. I'm just gonna heat them up with my heat gun. Hopefully they come off in one piece. So there you have it. Got those stickers off, wasn't too bad. But either way, like I said, what I'm thinking, guys, is I've driven it obviously with the new plugs in it. I haven't driven it with the new plug wires and the new filter. And this really isn't the greatest time of year to check for gas mileage, because in the wintertime, your vehicle is going to use more gas because it runs richer when it is cold. That's why a lot of people put like a 160 thermostat in them. It kind of tricks the computer into thinking it needs more fuel. And so while this isn't the greatest time to test it, I do monitor my mile per gallon because I do drive this thing so much. So what I'm thinking I will do is, right now, the best I've had in this kind of weather, which is an average of 30 degrees, we'll say, is about 18 miles per gallon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive it for a week or two. We'll get you guys some real numbers on, you know, is this making a difference? Is it a combination of that and the plugs and plug wires? Like I said, I didn't have any misses or anything. It seemed to run okay. It seems kind of sluggish. I don't know whether that's because the filter, as you could see, was so bad. But maybe, you know, maybe it gets a little better mileage. So what I will do is, like I said, I'll check back in with you at the end of this video after I've driven it for a week or two, and we will let you guys kind of know, you know, did this make a difference? Is it worth it? At this point, guys, it's been about, I guess about 2.5 to 3 weeks of me driving this thing every day with the new parts that we put on. So the new filter, new plugs, new wires, and guess what? So the temperature here has been roughly on average about 20 degrees. We've had some 4-degree days, we've had some 30-degree days, but on average probably about 20 degrees. So generally not the greatest as far as getting good mileage out of a vehicle. Generally, like I said, when it's cold, they just don't get the mileage they do when it's like spring and the temperature's around 60 degrees. But look, it has improved 1.5 miles per gallon. I ran 3 tanks through it at this point, and 1.5 miles per gallon difference. Now, I'm gonna attribute a majority of that to the filter, because you guys saw how dirty that filter was, and in my opinion, that needed to be replaced. I should have done that a long time ago, but the plugs look pretty decent. I didn't have any issues with the wires, although they did look older, and I don't necessarily care for that like $30 replacement cheapies that are red. I think that I think you're just getting more red than you are a quality plug. So I will list all this stuff that I use in the description. Of course, guys, I will list the air intake that I have because that filter really won't apply to you unless you have this same intake. But I do think the Green Filter USA filter is a better filter. That is what I ran on my ZR1 back in the day. After some testing, they found out that the Green Filter USA filter did way better. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you have tuned up your car, if you've had any issues with plug wires either not being long enough. I know there's a couple different versions of those wires, and you know, you can get really short ones and then you can get really long ones, and these are perfect because they don't have a ton of excess like the ones we took off, and we don't have, obviously they're long enough to reach. So they're really right in the middle. They're actually the perfect wire for this application. But if you guys did enjoy this video, if you need to tune up your truck, let me know in the comments down below. Of course, like always, give this video a thumbs up if you do like it. But if you guys are not subscribed, please go down there, hit the subscribe button. Of course, ring the bell icon that notifies you every single time we drop a new video, and stay tuned to see what we work on next.